Imagine boarding a quiet interstellar shuttle, only to watch a tired human mechanic stand up and offer his first-class seat to a battle-scarred dragon veteran, a creature twice his size, covered in old plasma burns and infamous for ending wars. Most passengers froze, some whispered, and the dragon? It stared at him like he'd just broken a law older than starlight itself. But what happened next? No one on that shuttle, human or dragon, could have predicted. Because one small gesture was about to trigger an event that changed every treaty in the sector. If stories about surprising kindness, hidden courage, and full-on HFY moments hit you right in the chest, go ahead and tap like. And hey, if you want more wild encounters between humans and the galaxy's strangest allies, consider subscribing and sharing this video with someone who loves a good wait. That actually happened moment. The shuttle cabin hummed softly, the kind of calm that makes people sink into their seats and forget they refloating through vacuum. Jace, a human mechanic still smelling faintly of coolant and engine grease, had finally settled into his rare first-class seat, reward from a grateful captain after a long week of patching up half-broken transports. Then the doors hissed open, a dragon veteran stepped in. Old the storybook kind, this one was massive, armored in dark metallic scales, and wearing a faded military cloak draped over old plasma scars. Even breathing seemed like it cost him effort. Passengers shrank back instinctively, eyes down, pretending not to stare, but the dragon didn't move further in. He just stood there, swaying slightly, gripping the overhead rail with claws that had once torn through battleships. First class was full. Jace watched him for a moment, and something in his gut tugged. Before anyone could whisper a warning, he stood, gestured casually, and said, "Hey, take mine." The cabin fell silent. So silent Jace could hear his own heartbeat. Dragons did not accept seats from humans. Not publicly, not ever. The dragon turned toward him slowly, eyes glowing with something unreadable, and everything shifted. For a long moment, the dragon veteran didn't move. His pupils narrowed, studying Jace with an intensity usually reserved for battlefield threats. A few passengers braced themselves, expecting a roar. Or worse, dragons followed old traditions older than most star routes, and kindness between species wasn't something they took lightly. Finally, the veteran lowered himself into the seat Jace had given up. The chair hissed under his weight. And then, to everyone's shock, he bowed his head. A dragon bowing to a human. A gesture so rare most people only heard about it in dusty academy lectures. Jace shifted awkwardly, scratching the back of his neck. "It's just a seat," he muttered. But to the dragon, it wasn't. Dragons viewed comfort as honor. First-class accommodations were reserved for leaders, champions, and occasionally, elder warriors returning from battle. Accepting such a gift from a human wasn't just unusual, it was a bond, a recognition, a debt etched into tradition. Passengers whispered nervously. Some knew the stories. A dragon who accepted a humaness offering owed a sky oath, a vow to protect that person until the debt was repaid. It was binding, ancient, dangerous. The dragon inhaled deeply, then spoke in a low, rumbling voice. "Human, you have invoked old law." The entire shuttle seemed to freeze after those words, "You have invoked old law." Jace blinked, unsure if he'd accidentally signed up for something heroic or catastrophic. Before he could even respond, the cabin doors slid open again, this time with the sharp stride of station security. Two officers stepped in, uniforms crisp, expressions already tense. They'd clearly been alerted. "Sir," one said to Jace, "we need you to step away from the dragon, immediately." The dragon growled, not loud, but deep enough that the seat vibrated. His wings tightened around his shoulders like shields. "He is under my protection," the veteran rumbled. "Sky oath is invoked." That sentence alone sent the officers into panic mode. "Impossible," the second officer snapped. "Dragons don't swear that oath to humans. It violates half our diplomatic protocols." Passengers leaned in, whispering fiercely. Some recorded. Others hid behind seats. Jace lifted his hands calmly. "Look, I just offered him a place to sit. That's all." "That," the dragon corrected, "is everything." The officers exchanged a look, half fear, half calculation. If a dragon declared an oath, breaking it risked interspecies conflict. Suddenly, the situation wasn't a seating issue, it was a political minefield, and Jace, he stood in the middle of it. The officers weren't just tense now, they were rattled. One whispered urgently into a comlink, probably pinging half the diplomatic corps. Jace could see the fear behind their eyes, the kind that comes when a simple situation suddenly carries the weight of a war treaty. He took a slow breath. "All right," he said, stepping forward, palms open, not challenging, just human. "Enough. Nobody's doing anything wrong here." I offered a tired veteran the seat. "That's it. But you triggered," the first officer began. "I triggered kindness," Jace interrupted gently. "If that breaks your protocols, maybe your protocols need a tune-up." A few passengers actually chuckled under their breath. The tension cracked just slightly. The dragon turned his massive head toward Jace, watching him with a new expression, something like approval, maybe even pride. "You speak with courage uncommon among your kind," the dragon murmured. Jace shrugged. "I fix engines for a living. Standing up for someone isn't that different. Just another broken system, right?" The officers hesitated. This human wasn't panicking or backing down. And the dragon, this towering, battle-scarred warrior, seemed ready to defend him to the last breath. For the first time, the balance of power didn't lean toward fear. It leaned toward respect. The shuttle touched down with a gentle thud, but no one moved. Not the officers, not the passengers, not even Jace. Everyone waited to see what the dragon would do, because whatever happened next would echo far beyond this landing pad. Slowly, the veteran rose from the first-class seat Jace had given up. He stood tall, wings folding neatly, posture regal despite the scars that mapped his body. Then he faced Jace and lowered himself onto one knee. Gasps rippled through the cabin. No dragon bowed like this, not to commanders, not to diplomats, and certainly not to a human mechanic. "Jace of Soul," the dragon intoned, voice rumbling through the deck plates. "Your act of honor restores a bond long forgotten." "My clan owes you more than protection," Jace swallowed. Right. What does that mean, exactly?" The dragon tapped a claw to the floor. A small holographic sigil rose, a mark of lineage, ancient and powerful. "It means," the dragon said, "you now have the backing of the Carrick's war clans. Any world you step on, their banner will stand beside your name." The cabin went silent. One simple gesture. One offered seat, and a human mechanic accidentally rewrote interstellar politics.